guys, welcome to my channel. So there's a couple new updates in the Suzanne Morphew case. So a new article by Daily Mail just came out and had some pretty good information in it. So I'm gonna kind of sum it up for you guys here. So they show photos that shows cops carrying evidence bags and equipment into their $1.5 million 3-bedroom home. It's just out of Salida, Colorado. And anyway, so these photos are from Tuesday afternoon, so it shows the cops carrying these evidence bags. And I guess the home has been taped off, and a CSI photographer was also seen at the home. Evidence bags were being brought out into a van. There's also pictures of Barry you could see out by, it looks like he's outside of his house, by his car. The one almost looks like he's like kicking his tailgate of his truck or something. I don't know what he's doing there. But to be honest, he doesn't look too good in these pictures, which either way would make sense, whether he had something to do with it or he was sad because something happened. But this article is not looking good for him, what they say in this article. So it says Suzanne has not been heard from since May 9th. Mother's Day was May 10th. She was reported missing May 10th, but she has not been heard of since May 9th. So maybe that theory that everybody's been talking about, that maybe something happened to her before and this was all kind of staged, maybe there's some truth to it. So Suzanne's bike was recovered, and a personal item, I guess. So her bike and a personal item were recovered, and they were recovered from the bridge close to her home on May 10th, the same day she was reported missing. And it was her two daughters, Mallory and Macy, who were the ones who called the neighbor, Jean Ritter, to check on Suzanne when they were unable to get a hold of her. They were camping, I guess, in Idaho, and they were on their way back from their camping trip, and they were trying to get a hold of their mom. Couldn't get a hold of her, so they called their neighbor to check on her. And when she went and checked on her and she saw that Suzanne wasn't there, she ended up she's the one that called and reported her missing. But nobody actually ever saw her on the bike. So that was just, I don't know where the story of her being on a bike ride came from. Was it because they found her bike and her bike was gone, that they just assumed that she was on a bike ride? Or was it like Barry and her daughters told the authorities, well, she usually goes on a bike ride around this time on Sundays? Who knows, because she wasn't heard from that day. They said she wasn't heard from since May 9th, which was Saturday. So nobody, it's not like she would have told anybody before she went on the bike ride, hey, I'm going on a bike ride. So either that was her normal routine, or they just assumed that because they found the bike where they found it, and then it was her bike and her bike was gone. So, oh yeah, that's probably is how that happened. So her daughters just couldn't get a hold of her all day, asked the neighbors to check on her. She wasn't there. When they went out and searched, they found the bike, no Suzanne, so they figured, well, I guess that's how the rumor started, that she was on a bike ride and possibly taken while she was on a bike ride. But maybe the cops have a reason to believe something else, because the fact that they said she wasn't heard of since May 9th, it could have been a setup like everybody was saying. You guys might have been onto something. So I guess Barry said he was away on a training course for his job as a volunteer firefighter in Denver when she vanished. And there is this article that does confirm that he was away in Denver that day, but that still doesn't mean anything, because it doesn't say that they confirmed that there was a training course. I bet you there probably was a training course, I'm guessing, but if she disappeared the day before, that would have been the perfect plan. He knew he was going to be out of town the next day. He had an alibi. He had a training course. He does something the day before, sets this all up like she went out on a bike ride and she actually was missing the day after. So it looks like, oh, he was, away in the training course. So it would be a perfect plan, really. So my guess is that they'll probably confirm he really was at a training course. But that does not mean that he doesn't have anything to do with this, because, like I said, she hasn't been heard from since Saturday. But who knows? I'm not saying that's... I don't want to speculate here, but I'm just saying it's not looking good for him. So Barry, he's 52 years old, and he has not been allowed to enter the home since he returned from his trip to Denver, which this is smart. I mean, this is the way any investigation should be done. They should have done this with Chris Watts. Imagine all the evidence they could have preserved possibly. They should never have let him into the house. Why did they do this different? Now, right away, they didn't let him into the house. Like the same day, as soon as he returned from his trip to Denver, he have not let anybody in the house. They made it a crime scene, taped it off. So why didn't they do that with Chris Watts' case? I don't know. It makes you wonder. Well, I guess one reason maybe why they made it a crime scene so quickly is because they found her bike without her So I guess that would be more of a reason to suspect that something happened rather than the Watts situation. They weren't sure if she left on her own accord. But with this, finding her bike and she's gone, and that does make it a little bit more suspicious, I guess, at first. So I guess I kind of understand. I still think they should not have let Chris in the house or his friends. I mean, they let him have free reign of that house for days. But anyway, that's another case, sorry. So I don't know how much this really means, because I think it's probably pretty typical and it's what should be done. They should make it a crime scene and not let anybody into the house. So I don't know if this means anything, but like means they know more information. Possibly, but possibly maybe it's just their standard. And we all know that they have to clear the husband first. It's always that husband and the ones closest to the person that they suspect first. So they have not cleared him yet, so they're probably working on that. So I don't know what this all means. I mean, this is probably pretty standard anyway, but still, I don't know. I'm just not getting a good feeling about him. Police also have his car and his cell phone, which, like I said, they should have done with Chris Watts. They should have done all this. He had like days where he was able to mess with all the evidence and do whatever he wanted, and I feel like this should have been the protocol. I mean, this is what they should have done. Whether they suspect him or not, the spouse is always the first suspect, so they need to make sure, they don't let him in the house or the crime scene. They get the evidence they need before they can mess with it. So I think it's a good thing, whether he has anything to do with it or not. It's just, I feel like the way that investigations should go. And if Barry doesn't have anything to hide, then he wouldn't care. Like, yeah, if this is what you need to do to clear me, to move on and try to find her, then here, yeah, do what you gotta do. So I guess Barry is communicating through his close friend George Davis. He's currently staying at a property close to the marital home and has been joined by friends who have flown in from Indiana. How sad is this? So Suzanne had just received the all clear following a cancer diagnosis. So she was probably out celebrating, going on a bike ride, happy to have her life back, free of cancer, and then this happens. So I guess Barry and his fellow firefighters are not allowed to be a part of the search team, and it looks like they want to be, but they're not letting them, which is another thing that is a smart thing to do for the investigation. You got to clear these people that are usually the prime suspects, and at least first clear them before you let them involved in anything like this. I mean, that would just be bad investigating, I feel like, if they would let them. So that's good that they're doing that. So I guess one of his colleagues said that the sheriff told us none of the firefighter guys are allowed up there. I guess he said they can't keep us out of the forest, so that's what some of the others have done. They set up their own little search party. He said it's a bad deal, they aren't telling us anything. We got excluded from everything. So I guess one of them put together a search team of friends. One of his co-firefighters said, Barry was very understanding from what I got from George. I know he's not allowed to go home. He's at a neighbor's. I guess they got him there until he's cleared. And I guess a lot of the family friends have spoke of the family in glowing terms, saying there's a loving couple and they've been happy and they're just a happy, loving, normal couple, is what a lot of the people that know him say. That she loves the mountains and she loves mountain biking and she's just a very happy person. She's very outgoing, very cheerful. She'll walk up and talk to you and make you feel welcome. It says, unfortunately, now the girls feel partly to blame because if they hadn't taken their trip, maybe they would have been there and she wouldn't have gone out. I guess Barry's uncle said that he believes his nephew is innocent, so he believes Barry is innocent. They're a loving couple. I've never seen any kind of unhappiness with each other. He says, what you saw in that video from Barry the other day, that's exactly Barry, and that's exactly how he feels. He loves her, and he wants her back. He wasn't putting on. But I don't think that video really was very sincere. It didn't sound very, compassionate and just almost sound like rehearsed and planned, so. But that doesn't mean anything because who knows how anybody would act in this kind of situation, so we can't go by just that alone. And then people were talking about, who is this Joseph Forbord? The one that that basically matched Barry's $100,000. Who is this person? Is this they said family friend, but it'd be interesting to know a little bit more about him. The person that matched Barry's $100,000. I mean, I don't know. I would be interested to know a little bit more about him, wouldn't you guys? Could they be working as a team? No, that's just a speculation. I don't even know if Barry isn't even involved. I don't even know what to make out of this, but I guess we'll just wait and see. It just seems like they're being really quiet on this and not telling us much, but I'm going to try to look into this Joseph Forboard and see what I can find out. Supposedly there's not much on him. I guess people have been trying to look into him, and there's supposedly not much you could find. And then another thing I talked about in one of my lives, actually, about how they said that there was a few posts that, well, a lot of people are talking about this, how that the cameras were off for those basically 4 days at the Morphew's house. They had security cameras and they were off for the last 4 days, or broke for the last 4 days. Basically hadn't been working for 4 days. Is that a coincidence or some kind of plan? Someone purposely turned them off so there's no evidence. I just want to read you a couple parts of these articles about this case. So the first one is from KRDO News Channel. Title: Investigator explains FBI's involvement in Chaffee County missing woman case. So they're talking about that video that Barry put out. It says Morphew's husband Barry shared an emotional plea to Facebook Sunday saying, "No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back." The video followed an announcement of a $200,000 reward for information leading to a safe return. It's something that's caught the attention of former Pueblo County Sheriff and now private investigator Dan Corsentino. It seems to me that there is something more driving this case that none of us know about at this point in time, he said. Although Corsentino says the FBI's involvement does bring out some clues. The sheriff of Chaffee County would say that he has information that is pertinent to something beyond Chaffee County, and they want the FBI to search outside Chaffee County, he said, while investigators have found what's to believe to be a personal item belonging to Morphew. They haven't said what the item is. They want to maintain the integrity of this case. They want to make sure there are no leaks in the case, especially if they have some suspicion of a person who may be involved, like a person of interest, Corsentino said. Without much to go off of, he says his past in law enforcement leads him to believe that there are unusual circumstances. This case is going to be something more than, I think, a family-related case. That's just my gut instinct, Corsentino said. Sunday, the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office asked the county residents preserve any and all video footage from devices such as Ring doorbells, security cameras, and game cameras from May 8th to 12th. Investigators will contact residents and locations of interest to collect any camera footage within that time period. They asked the residents do not send any video, but to wait until they are contacted by investigators. So if anyone has information about the Morphew's disappearance, is asked to call tip line 719-312-7530. Another article I want to read a few parts from is The Crime Online, titled Missing Suzanne Morphew's Family Confirms Husband's Whereabouts on the Day of Her Disappearance as Police Ask Neighbors to Save Doorbell Camera Footage. So I've been wondering, did they confirm that he was in Denver? Because obviously they already know, they've already looked in to see if he really was in Denver for some work-related thing or what he was doing there. So, I mean, they've probably known about this for days. Of course, they haven't shared it with us, but I was just curious, wonder if they were able to confirm that. I mean, wonder what they found out, I should say. Was he really in Denver? Was it really for work? And here it says, according to the report, family members have confirmed that Morphew's husband, Barry Morphew, was in Denver on May 10th. Okay, so that's about all the updates that they have out so far. I'm going to keep on looking and trying to figure out any details or clues for you guys. So if you guys are following this case, make sure to keep checking back and seeing if I have any updates on this, because like I said, I'll be looking every day to see if there's anything I could find, any clues, any just even hearsay kind of stuff, since the authorities aren't giving us anything. And I know there's a lot of people interested in this case. So, and if you guys know anything or have any information, email me. Here's my email. I'll put it up on the screen for you guys. So give me an email if you guys could help out in this. I could add it to my next video, so and get it out there, you know. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys are all doing well today, and until next time, bye.